Hello everyone, welcome to today's Quick Learn. My name is Abby and I will be your host for this afternoon. We're going to be looking at the returns option in the software today. You will only have access to this if you are on the professional variant of the software. So Quick Learns are a lot shorter than our usual sessions. They are around 20 minutes long, which will include between 10 to 15 minutes demonstration, but it will have booked out 30 minutes in your calendar for if we have any questions at the end that are still outstanding. Today's session, the option is quite a small feature, so I don't expect it to last the full 30 minutes. I do also have Jackie on hand to answer your questions today, so do keep them coming throughout the session as well. We are going to start the session at 5 past, so if you want to go and grab yourself a cup of tea or a coffee before we start the session, feel free to do so. In the meantime, I'm just going to put myself on mute. Okay, just while waiting for others to join the session, I just want to go through a little bit of housekeeping. So some of you may be new to joining us on webinars, or you may be a regular attendee. I just want to make you aware of how the session will work. So your microphone will be muted automatically during the session. If you do have any questions, however, you can pop them into the questions panel, which is down the right-hand side. And you can do this, open this up by pressing the option that looks like a little speech bubble with the question mark in the middle. That's why either me or Jackie will be able to answer these for you. One more thing I just wanted to mention for this session, because it's a quick learn, there will be no handout as it is going to be mainly demonstration today. Okay, so again, session starts at 5 past, so I'll put myself on mute in the meantime. Okay, let's get started. So I just want to say welcome to those who have just joined us. So today's quick learn is where we're going to be covering the returns option in the 50 account software. And again, this is only on the professional variant that you'll get access to this option. Just want to make sure my screen's sharing properly there. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start by introducing the returns feature in the software and the different options within it. I will then demonstrate how to process a return and which reports you can run to track them. At the end of the demonstration, I will summarise the session and talk about upcoming webinars. But again, please do keep your questions coming throughout the session so either me or Jackie can pick these up. Okay, so sometimes you may need to record damaged or faulty stock items that have been returned to your company from your customers or that you are returning to your supplier. The returns option is a feature that allows you to manage product returns within your software. So again, I've mentioned it a couple of times, it is only available in professional variant. If you're not sure what variant you are on, you can go to help along the top in your software, down to about at the bottom of the drop down, and then under license information, which should be in the middle of the screen, it'll tell you what variant you have. This option is for stock products only, so it's not going to work on non-stock or service items. It maintains accurate accounting records, and it also provides insight through reporting. So we do have 2 reports that you can run to see what has been returned. Now, if the stock has just been returned unwanted, you would just issue a credit note or process a refund as normal. Or if no credit note is needed, then you would just do an adjustment in for your stock. Now, within the returns option, there is 3 different options that you can choose for the type. You've got a DI, a DO, and a WO. So a DI is damages in. So this is goods being returned to you as damaged or faulty from your customer. You've got a DO, which is damages out. So that's goods you are returning to your supplier for repair or replacement. And then a WO is a write-off, and this is used to record stock that has been written off. So this type of transaction makes an adjustment to the stock levels and is equivalent of an adjustment out. So you might use this option writing off if something has become damaged, maybe it's in your warehouse or something like that, and you need to write that off. Please note, if you are using damages in or damages out as a type, it will not affect the stock levels as they're used when stock is going to be replaced. So when using this option, it's only going to impact your products module, such as the product activity. Using this option will not impact your transactions in the transaction module or projects or anywhere else in the software. So what I'll do now is I'll pop straight into the demonstration. So I'll just swap over to my software. Okay, so we're going to go straight into products and services. And your returns option is along the top here. You can see it's along the top on your toolbar. If you do not see that option, could be a couple of things. Could be that you're not on the professional variant, so you're not going to see that option. Could be that it could be hidden. So if I right click anywhere on this bar and I untick returns, you can see it disappears. If I right click again and I retick the returns option, it reappears. And the third reason why you might not see it is it might be that your particular user does not have permission. And all you need to be doing there is getting a manager or an administrator to log in and amend your level of access. And they do that by going to settings, user management, users, and they would just select the relevant user as yourself. If I click edit, and then if I go to level of access, so if I go into products and services, they might want to take it all so you have access to everything in products and services. or you might just want to tick that returns option there and just pick relevant ones that you need to use. And then they would just save that. And then you would then see, when you logged in, you would then see that returns option along the top. So let's click into returns. So this is the returns window here. We're going to select product code. So I'm just going to click in my drop down here. And I'm going to find the relevant product. So I'm going to look for the, let's have a look, I'll put in here, monitor. If you don't see a search feature along the top here, this is new in version 29. So you are then able to search within the list. So I'm just going to select my 15-inch monitor. What that's going to do is then that's going to bring through the description. So you can't edit this. This is what pulls through from the product record. Then from the drop down, as you can see, I've got damages in, damages out, and write off. So I'm going to choose damages in. This customer has returned this product to me, and I'm going to put the date. So I'm just going to leave the date as today, but you would be putting that date relevant to when they actually returned the product. The reason, I'm just going to say scratched screen, and I'm going to put the quantity. I'm just going to put the quantity as 1, so it's just 1 monitor they are returning. And as you can see, you can come in and you can enter multiple lines in here. You can also add a reference. I can see mine's currently unticked. So there's also an extra box here that is default. So you can enter a reference into here. It's not a mandatory field. You can leave it blank. It's up to you what you want to put in there. I'm going to leave mine blank. If you don't want to use the reference column, you can right click and untick it, and it will just hide that column as well. And that is user specific. So if you hide that, it's not going to hide it for other users. So I've entered all the information I need to enter in. So I've selected my product. I'm choosing damages in. I've got the correct date. I've got the reason, and I've put the quantity in there as well. And I'm just going to click save. Of course, it's not going to find that product code. There we go. It's because I've got one on the line underneath. Let me just delete that line. It's just not sure why that's not working. Bear with me a moment. Let's try a different monitor. Did try this earlier. Let's try that scratch screen. Let's try something else. Bear with me a moment. Let's just try a desktop calculator. Apologies about this, not having a good time. Let's just have a look. There we go. So if I then go back into that product, so it was a printing rolls. If I click on activity, you can see now I have a DI at the bottom, so damage is in. So it doesn't affect the stock or anything like that. It just puts on there that there's been items returned because they were damaged. It's the same process for if you were doing the damages out. So if you were returning a product as well to a supplier, you would just select the relevant one. So I'll just choose that one because I know it's going to work. I'm going to select damages out because I'm returning that to my supplier. And I click save. I go back onto that activity. You can now see I've got a DO, which is damages out. For write-offs, so let's just say clear form. We're now going to do damages out, sorry, a write-off. So I'm going to look for correction fluid. I'm going to change my drop-down to write-off. Reason, broken bottles, and it's going to be 1 pack. So that's to say I'm writing this off because it's in my warehouse and it's been damaged, but for whatever reason, can't sell it. So I'm now writing this bit of stock off. So I click save. Then if I go into the activity, what it's done, I'll do it again so we can see. So if we can see here, I've got the quantity in stock 152. I do returns. I'm going to do another 1 broken bottles. I click save. Apologies. Bear with me. It's doing it again. Correction fluid, that's what I need to select. Write off. 1. Save. It's because I've got the wrong one selected. Apologies. Not having a good session today. So we can see here what it actually does is it adjusts the quantity in stock. So it reduces the amount of stock. So if I go in activity, you can see I've got 2 write-offs and it's taken the quantity out 1 and 1. Now there are reports that you can see where what has been written off or what has been adjusted out or in terms of the damages in, the damages out. So if we go to reports, we go to product damage and write-off. You've got 1 for your product damage and 1 for your product write-off. So if we just run this report and click OK, because I've got something selected, bear with me. There we go. So you can see here now, I've got a report, I've got printing rolls. So I've got ones for printing rolls, I've got ones for diskettes, and I've got 1 for envelopes. So that's ones that I've already got in the program. Then if I run the write-offs report, and again, you can select the stock code, stock category, and you can also choose your transaction dates as well. And if you click OK, it's then going to show that information, broken bottles or broken in workshop. So you can put that sort of information in there. You can also export these reports as well, just along the top. You can click export, and it's going to export that report for you as a PDF format. So that is the returns option. It's very simple but useful feature to track returns. And for your suppliers or to write off stock that may have been damaged in your warehouse. I can see a question's coming there from Gail. So with write-offs, the product automatically decreases in quantity. With the DI and the DO, it doesn't. That is correct. So the write-offs option will automatically decrease the quantity for you, whereas the damages in and the damages out doesn't, as it's meant to be for, like, you know, it's there for if you are going to replace the stock. So you don't want to be adjusting in and adjusting out, as it's going to take out an extra one if you're going to replace that damaged item for a customer. So that's why it doesn't adjust your stock levels. You can also get really useful support with this feature as well. So if you are in the returns window, if you're on version 29, if we just click the help option in the top right, so I'm going to bring up the help center, and it brings you relevant information on how to do these steps. So you can see I've got an option for how do I record stock returns. So if I click on this article here, so if we scroll down here, it walks you through exactly the same steps that I've just gone through. It's got screenshots, but it also explains here exactly what I explained earlier. So damages in, it's to be returned to your company as damaged or faulty. And you can see here, because the goods are faulty or damaged, the quantity in stock, sales value and sales quantity figures are not updated when you post the transaction. Is that because you're going to then send out another item in replacement of that damaged item? So this article is really helpful, walks you through the whole process of how to go through that window. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, just while waiting for further questions coming through, I can see there's a couple coming through there that Jackie's just jumping on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly discuss the upcoming webinars. So I'm just going to pop on my homepage. And then on the homepage, you see the option for free webinars. If we click more info, okay, so upcoming webinars we've got the previous recording. So if you've got other sessions that you would like to catch up on, you can click on that option there. We have got the International Accounting Day coming up next week. So we haven't got any sessions remaining for the rest of this week, but we do have International Accounting Day, which is on the 10th of November, which is next Friday. But we're doing a full week of sessions dedicated to that International Accounting Day. So we do have our ever first digital badge for 50 accounts. So that is if you attend 4 out of the 7 dedicated webinars starting Monday. So we've got 7 sessions all the way through. So we've got ones on bank feeds, quick search and filter, use and memorize and recall, recurring items, batch reporting, email and invoices, and the Sage 50 accounts quiz as well. So if you attend any of those 4 out of the 7, you will receive a digital badge. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop back to my slides. So that does bring us to the end of today's session. Please feel free to stay around for the next couple of minutes or so if you are waiting for an answer to a question or you have any further questions to ask. We will hang around for a couple of minutes. If you've got what you need today and you want to leave the session, you will receive an email in around an hour or so with links to both our webinar schedule and today's recorded session. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop myself on mute just to see if there's any extra questions do come through. So we'll give it a minute or so if you do have any. Okay, so the questions have dried up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this session up. I want to say thank you to Jackie, who's been on hand today to answer your questions, and thank you to you all for your participation. Just a reminder, we've got plenty of sessions over the next couple of weeks, so don't be shy and get registered.